You. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. So welcome to Meher Baba's Blue Bus Mystical Language Tours. And this is a special day, May 8th. It's the 79th of 2025. It's the 73rd anniversary of the last day of seclusion Baba did to complete Mononash for the benefit of the West at the Mayor Spiritual Center. And we're going to be sharing the two articles today. God has to be manifested. And then the first article of a series of 14 articles, 4 of which were published, on the mystical life. And beginning with God has to be manifested, I picked one sentence out of it because, once again, like last week, the theme in Utilize the Divine that we did last week, it has a reference to Mononash, not by name, but by function. So the sentence is, when I am, excuse me, when I am in mind as man, as human creature, I do all to help in use the way out of use. That is to make you experience in small and huge order, in little, in great controversy, the act of annihilation of the I. So the article, God Has to Be Manifested, by Princess Norina Matchebelli. We find out by our own effort who is God. We find out by our own effort what is God in use in us. We, as intelligent race of the head, have to realize in the heart that which in us is God in use. It is a form of speculation which is real and good when it is done to use the God. In use of the God, it is unselfish. God in use, God in us is use. He is the furious riot of the mind in search of the victim. The I that in I has to realize the divine wrath as pure experience of divine order. It is the same to say, love your enemy. Be good to the one who offends you. Love all as it is, good, bad, false, real. It is the experience of the holy, real life in mind that in its unconscious, realized order to self-realize is reacting to its own God. Mayor Baba, in his mystical language, states, God is man when God in himself is unconscious of being God. God is I in use in men when he is man. Man is God when man is good, real, selfless. He is God in himself as nature, as mind, as self, as being. What is God when it is manifested? It is life as it is. It is mind as self, as divine portion. As I, it is truth. God is I. This meaningless I, the show of us as ego, is one all existence in the I that is God. God is volume, and creation is volume. God is motion and life as I is motion. God is mind as divine imagination, and the divine self is imagination in use in all. That what is being is I. As human creature, I here as exponent of one I, God, am the self as being. That I am, and that I experience in I as man. When I as man experience the divine realizing order in mind, which is to live, to see, to know, to react in I as self as being, I, in use of me conscious, do the realizing order in I, to realize in me, in use of me, the I as God.
When I say to my own disciple, realize, I say it and it is order in him to realize. When I say go or come as external act, he does it unconscious in I. He is shown in I as the subconscious how to do the act of going or coming. This self in I as use of I, the order doing conscious I, is I, me. I, in it conscious, is I, order. I am the dictating I in self. This is to make no difference in anyone's own way to be or to do or to live. As in all, in any human creature, I do it in them unself-reactive in I as self. When I use a mental condition in I for use of I in mind, in being, I do it to use in I the mental condition, which is real, false, which is some or other, a condition of self in reaction. This self in reaction is to see, to know, to realize in me the divine life as the realizing order in conscience. What is the I? It is as mental show, which is dual and unself-reactive and unself-conscious in the show of mind that is a whole, one all I as condition of mind. All is mind, and in it is God mind as pure existence, the driving order to experience. This I hear sign as Meher Baba, the God-realized man, who is here to serve you and all men in mind to realize God. This will be realizing in full, in all, when I come to say the word as verb, which is sure power of truth. This will be when I see it of use to have its one in all use be creating the experience of one all I as life, as head, as heart, as mind in being, as truth order to self-realize in mind. It is I as mind, as me. So see this and realize this. Give in all, in everyone. The truth is high and low. It is man. Let this be clear. Truth is me as mind that creates the experience. Truth is I that creates the experience as order in conscience. Truth is I as one, as mind, as being. Truth is me as God, that in use as one, as I is one, all I, in use. This know, see, find in you, realize as mind that is conscious of its realizing reaction. See it, know it, find in you, me. Find in you the one only I, be in I, the truth as manifestation of I as human creation. See that, and in that know and realize in me, in you, the realizing order to realize that what in you is one, I, God. This being that I in you am is order to self-realize in you, God. As God, it is you. As you, it is I. As one, it is portion of the whole. That one as portion is God in you. See me in use of it, bring in you God consciousness. See me realize in you God as conscious, realized state of being that is truth, as pure winning will, as life in experience, as good and bad in realizing order for use of one all I, as truth manifestation in you, to be two, to be all one I. God in you is experience of life as love. This is the ordinary order in use in I in the universe. All in the universe is life of love. All in the truth realizing motion in being as knowing is one all I as realizing order as conscience. All is one all I as conscience of God, as unrealized state of God, as unrealized order in conscience is life, the plane to use the use, to realize the conscience of the one all I life. This see, know, find and realize. This see, know, realize in using in you the truth realizing order that is one all I life as conscience. To know how the conscience is realizing, I here try to give you the idea of God. So it is for God and in use of God that this I in use as human creation is order in conscience. Let it be real and true and one in use in you, my disciple. Know that I use all in you to realize in you the real experience of God. What for is the I in this joy-making life? In this pain-creating head? No more is it of use to worry when I am here and do the use of the experience in I. What else has the mind to realize? No one is able to see why I here do the realizing order in mind, in conscience. What is the divine mind in man, in I, as ego? It is self in experience. It is the divine I as self in experience. It is the real I as self, as ego in experience, if its own controversy. It is God in use in I, as divine I, as mind in I, as being, which is the portion of I as divine order imperative in conscience, which is reacting in I for use of I as self, as I.
As mental condition, it is motive, and dual order imperative as ego. All is experience. Life is experience. All is experience as mind in experience. God is all and any order in experience. This see, know, and find in you, bring the duo order to realize in you the divine theme. Know in you is God. What is man? Man is no more a man when he is in being realized show of non-experience of I as self, as mind, as being. This is of use to the general mind, as the general mind in the plane of the intellect has no idea of what is the state of selfless experience. The state of selfless experience is to self-realize in I, the truth. What is it to the average mind and intellect? It is self-realization of the I as himself, as individual realizing reaction. That is to be self-satisfaction. That is to have in self-satisfaction the idea of I, the thought of I. The being reaction of I is self in I as use of I in non-reaction. This know, this see, know, and let in you self-realize as I. When I see a new mental condition arise in the mind as being, what I do is to let it experience till it is an experience unself-reactive as head as heart. So it is. I here now do in you the experience to show you in heart the realizing order. I am in use in you the show of mind in being as order to self-act. I do in it the clearing process of the elimination of the self, the I, the ego. I in it make the clearing in you of the I by creating in you the self in experience. I do react in you in I as use in mind in being to experience in you the head, the heart. In disunion as realizing order in I, is I the force that creates the war. What is the I in me as realized experience that is non-experience in I, use of I? To serve the I here am one I, God. To serve man, I here am one I, in one all, one use, the divine realizing order as spirit awakener. I here say to you as my disciple this: no learning, no lesson, no discipline, but conscious realizing reaction of what is the manifesting reaction in you in conscience. I here see you, see, know, feel in me, you be me. So be me in you as disciple. Realize in you me as you as God. Bring in you as human order in conscience, and realize in you that I here am you, doing in you, the God as show of mind in being, as spirit conscious, realizing order. Be me as you, see me in you, be I as God.
I hear self-react in you, the real order to serve in you, me. To see in you me, be you. Love is being in joining, realizing order, God and the creature. You and I owe to be one all, one I, in use of I as being, that in use in two in one, is God as joy and creation as pain. I here say to all, lift the I to me, give it to me. Realize in me the dual show of mind and react in me the real order in conscience. I in you am you. Oh, my creation. I am you as truth, as manifestation in I as being. So see me be in you, you as one. See me show in you the real I. See me give you in life as father, as mother, as creature, that is God realized, the real I. I here as your own I, as you, as head, as heart, as being, as self, as human I, as ego, am you to be in you, one all order to arise in you as me, the I, the One, the God. This know and realize. So it is. God in use in us is motive in I that is in perpetual ardor of realization. It is order and it is the show of mind as being. It is us as truth order in conscience. We have to realize in us God. We realize in us God in the perpetual show of the mind in use of being, in use in us, for use of Him. Meher Baba answers, let it be coming till it is experienced in self in use. I am in it God's use. Create no dispute in intellect, as it is unworthy to dispute me in intellect. Dispute me in heart in you. Serve in that way or any other way. Do no more than breathe. It is all the same. You as subconscious owe me. You as subtle sow me. You in you realize me, God. So be quiet, confident, calm. I here do what is to be done. It is self in service to all. When I am in mind as man, as human creature, I do all to help in use the way out of use. That is to make you experience in small and huge order, in little, in great controversy, the act of annihilation of the I. So be confident that I here do the play in opposition for the good of all. I make it clear and give it to all to understand. I here help in spirit for the spirit's use, and in no way the individual selfish benefit of self in realizing reaction in self-design of I for the use of self as ego. Life has no end in manifestation of I. It is all I till it is none other than pure ether, which is I as one all state of God. Be confident that I hear, see, know, feel how it is when one is God. It is being a selfless man, an ordinary man, a good friend. Real master in servitude is I. Selfless, ordinary human being is I. I am ordinary as man. I am ordinary as one all I, as self, as one all I, as God.
God is ordinary and real and pure and unself-reactive in I when he is what I here am. So let the work in you give in free. Let me give you the truth direction in you as mind in surrender. Let me see in you the way out and on to self in unison with the one all order imperative in conscience, which is selfless. So have faith, have real courage to live in use of me here as my disciple. See me live in you in small ways of life, the everyday ritual of selfless harmony. The unsatisfied element in you is God, who needs you to be like him. Unsatisfied humor is God, when winning in you the dual show of I. I am the motive making I to lift in I the truth. God is monotheistic realization, reaction, and I. I am one in all. See me give in you the real order to resign in self-importance. I am in you the truth creating you dual in humble ways of I. Lift in the I that is me. Life has two sides and one way to make the two sides. Left in one, right in one. God as one is two in one. See to join the threefold show of I as subconscious, conscious, and superconscious. Existence in one all I life, realize is subconscious, conscious, superconscious union in its own godhood. Love this game and I. See me in it. Pure joy. God has descended to make us see the God as man. God is here to see in him us as God. What have we to fear? Have we to doubt when we see him walk hand in hand with us, side by side in mercy? Have we to live or die for us when we see in us is he the truth in separate and joining order as conscious experience? He is the very life that we breathe. We need not to see one another as separate thing. We see one, and that is he. We live in one all I life as joining order in use in mind that is surrendered. Mayor Baba states, let the world see the dual show of destruction as the mercy game in realization of truth. Let the head be calm and the heart see free. Life is good as it is. Life is real as it is. Life is my work of realization.
We, as his disciples, find in him peace. It is more than peace, it is absolution in I. We appear selfish, and we do in selfish experience many ways of him to serve in his unselfish game. To be able to see life of non-importance as the individual I become unselfish use of him, the descended truth individual who has come to realize in us the I theme of which we seem to be victim. Another I has arisen in us. Another motion in us is making us live and react and work and real and true experience that what in experience we have to absolve. So we love to live. We live to die. We live to be a subject of self-reaction in use of him. We, his Eastern and Western disciples, those who have lived for him for many years, and those who have surrendered the same life to him since only a few years, all join as one devoted pack of soul hounds to serve his work. It is action, 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 and in it reaction. It is divine sport, every day new. We are real and selfish in it. We are good and bad in it. We are both, this or that we do. No more, no less is it right or left. All we do. Good we seem, bad we react. Bad we seem, good we do. So what is the use to worry? Meher Baba is right, good, real. We know this by experience. It is imperative winning urge to realize the truth. We see in us the new life arise in self-surrender to the wonder order of being. That is spirit awakening. We see him the realized state of goodness and unselfishness be fact, and that is servitude in us, and for all. We see him be human, a friend in use in all situations of life, real, false, low, high. That is true understanding. We see him give and give his unfathomable, a divine life that is love unending. Once over, he states, God is to be man. God is unconscious of being man. God is to serve in mind, in head, in heart, in experience. That in experience, the I may know the I as man.
It's wonderful to be with my fellow soul hounds.
We had to throw that in, I'm afraid.
Resist that.
So without further ado, thank you, Judy. This is, to start with a footnote, this is the first of a series of 14 articles. Oops, I got the wrong one, came up.
Yeah.
One moment, please. Mystical. Why is that still coming up? Okay, let's see.
Mystical.
Okay. So this is the footnote to 14 articles that were written in Ranchi, India, near Calcutta, during 14 days of raining, continuous. And first 4 were published. 3 additional ones were scheduled for publishing, but didn't, and then a total of 10 were unpublished and in Adi K. Irani's archives. And they all carry this footnote These variations of the theme of self-realization were intuitively made known to me by Meher Baba during the month of July 1940. So Mystical Life 1 by Princess Norina Matchebelli.
And Jonathan,
Yeah.
July of 40, am I right in thinking that was in the midst of the Blitz, among other things, in London?
I think you're right in terms of the Blitz. The one thing that was, I was, all these dates were incredibly significant with what was going on in the World War II. And and I think you're right, you may be correct. The other thing that coincided, when Baba sent Norina and Elizabeth to America, it was just before the Germans did a massive invasion of Russia. And at the end of November, when the Blue Bus ended and the Blue Bus returned, it was like December 8th that the Russians stopped the Germans, and the Germans began their retreat. It was in the winter and devastated their army. It was considered the end of the Blue Bus tour coincided with the first major turning point of the war.
Uh-huh.
So there's so many correspondences, and I think you're right that the Blitz, the Blitz when they began hitting England, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
fighting.
Yeah.
Yes. What was Baba up to?
Yeah, right. Bringing everything back to himself. Mystical Life 1. Meher Baba explains that this series of articles has been dictated by direct communication and intuition. It is for reason of saving time and for more executive reaction that he avoids to use the normal external way of transmission through the intellect and thus the alphabetic board, while he is still maintaining silence. The mental act to hear in intuition is pure and real selfless service when it is use of him direct. These articles are the philosophy of self in realization reaction, which men shall have to experience to be able to make the use of it for which they are meant. The direct use of his in intuition is to use in the disciple who is understanding the self and the reader of the articles, all that which he, the I impersonal in I, owes to do in rhythm, in reaction. It is to make use of the realizing expression impersonal, which he is in all and every human creature. To read his mystical language is to realize in reading as knowing and as feeling what he impersonal does experience in all human creatures. What he means by one in I is the realized show of the whole in the small I as the pure portion. This explanation is to help in reading. What he wins in us is to show us, the disciples, the way to God. What he wins in you, the readers of the mystical order to experience, is to see more, to know more, how he in you shows the way to one in I, the pure one in I, that in you is the inherent, realized, unself-conscious God as you, the portion. This means in all to grow and to come near to one and I, near to him as the manifesting God in self-existence. See this, and in this way, read the mystical experience in you in the way he here expresses it. Find the use to realize in you him, the dictation in intuition. Whether he realizes within in mind in being or outward in mind in intellect is one way to use you as the disciple, to know, to feel him be the dictating order impersonal. So says Meher Baba.
God has to be man. The mystical languages show in experience in the realm of I indivisible as mind in being. That is all what is necessary to say to those interested to read these mystical articles. The mystical language is self-realization in mind, in self, in experience. It is mind in the realm of I as mind in being, that in I, in the dual individual, is subjective experience. This language is to be showing in I in mind, that in I in mind, one in I is the continuation of I as mind that is individual in self-experience. The subjective I is individual in self-expression. The individual in use of the intuition is impersonal in use of the self-expression. This is the difference of I in self-expression, in I as spiritual order in experience. This is the way to say to mind in intellect, to leave in intellect the individual experience, and to know in I, in the individual order in experience, all subjective reaction. To leave in mind, to leave in I, in mind, in self, in I, as mind, in spirit realization reaction, the subjective experience, is to know more. To know is all that we have to earn. To be able to realize the subjective realization of I as human being, as God. We have to earn to know, to see, to feel God in us as subjective experience. This is the religion of God impersonal, in I impersonal, for use in I individual. It is God in use in us that we have to see, to know, to feel. This small form to experience in I, the divine theme, is to show in I, in use of every day, the dual order to find in I, the one, the I, the God. Whatever is to be done in I is small in comparison to what in I is doing. The conscious order to experience the truth is very small in I subjective. It is very small in I impersonal. It is very imperative and huge in one in it is very imperative and huge in I, in one in I, when the God is the wonder work in self-realization.
I have seen in me the God arise and speak and order when it was for me the day to awake. He then was impersonal and imperative in me in experience as subjective I. I then was a student of truth who has to self-realize in I the truth. I had to follow the divine theme as the truth in me was order to awake. I had to see first in I impersonal, the truth be the impersonal, before I was true and real in me, to know, to feel in I as me, the individual, the pure, the true, the real God as pure human creature. To say this here is to make it clear to those who in I impersonal know the God to be in them the truth manifesting order, to be in them the God. We as disciples in mind in I as truth aspirants of God, know in us is Meher Baba the God who is impersonal and personal manifestation. We in his own presence know in us as mind, as self, as human creature, that he is one in use in all. We see him in use in everyone who is sincere seeker of truth, be the divine theme in realization order, to show in us the realized order. We and him react in us free of the one in I, free of us, the human self in search for truth, free in mind and I as being in realization reaction for use of the I as mind, as individual experience. We here self-realize in us the truth order direct in use in us. This is the difference of the motive in I impersonal and the motive in I personal. This, what I here say, is dictated in me in I impersonal and in I individual as imperative order to say what is the self-realization in I as use of him, the truth order impersonal in use in all. The Master's direct words make it still more effective. He says, no one has to see, to know, to feel the truth until he is certain in him as mind and I, as human creature, that God in him is conscious in I as individual experience. I here say this to all who in I owe to fear the personal God and show in them, in I impersonal, the realization reacting order to grow in and out in them without the Master. No one is able to know in I and mind, in one in I, God, without the God showing in I the way to God. This is fact, and I shall in mind, in men, show the fact when I am in mind, in men, in use, in I, impersonal, the I, impersonal. When I in mind, in men, am use personal, I am in mind, in all, God as one all I, in use for one in I, to make in mind, in use in I, the pure resurrection of I. God is God as human I, when in I, the human order has to be in every individual to be God. It is in every day the I in use, in mind, in intellect, and in I in mind, in being, the show of self-realization that in you is conscious. The pure feeling of truth is to live in full, in all, in harmony, in experience of one all I life, and that is love in God.
See this, O you, my disciple, who is indivisible in mind and longing to unite in I, in me. See this, O I in mind, in self, in realization, ardor in mind, impersonal. See this, O you who is individual in self-sacrifice, in pain in I, in mind, in pain in I, in self, in pain in I, impersonal. I here am the I, that in I of mind individual has to realize the truth. Creation is God in making of the I. Creation is truth in making of truth as being that is conscious of truth. This is the theme that we have to evolve in us as human creature. This is the mystical experience in use in us as self-realization. God is truth in manifested realization reaction, all in our own I, as God in realization reaction. God is use in us of Him, the I, that is realizing. Meher Baba furthermore states, here I say it is, as it is the way I have been showing in you before you have met me in person. You have been in search of God in you, in I impersonal, and in the I impersonal, you have in you found in I, the I impersonal. I saw in you the fact when I have met you in the new world in the West. I have then drawn you close to me to lift in you the one in I as the impersonal one in I, as the being to show you on to me. I took you out of I as the dual I in many ways of I to make you realize in you, me. I took you in I, in one in I, to show in I in you the one in I as me. I have done in I, in you, in me, the show of I in one, in I, in me, as being that is conscious of I for use of him, the God in you impersonal. And now here, as I, as one, as self in the God intuition state as me, the God conscious I in you.
I wonder if I recorded that.
That
I-
explains it.
I
Pretty much
I would-
sums it up.
was just wondering if, I guess I did press record. I wonder if does it show that it's a recording?
Yeah,
It does?
Oh, good.
I saw it when I came in.
Play it backwards.
This panic, I tell you.
Turn me on, dead man.
The technology can it takes you through everything. Anyone. Well, it was for those that came a little
Wanna
bit
say hi?
later, I just wanted to, this is the, let me stop sharing. This is the, May 8th is the 73rd anniversary of Baba completing Mononash for the benefit of the West at Mayor Spiritual Center. The following day, the 9th, he met with Ivy Deuce, Francis, and Charmian. And then on the 10th, I'm sure other people too, but in Lord Mayor, that's the account. And then on the 10th was kind of like the opening,
Adele Walken and Phyllis Frederick
and others.
with the 10th.
Jonathan,
When
please.
did Agnes connect?
She collected that first day that we started, that was on April 26th. And that
Yeah.
was literally, that was the day that, she arrived in Myrtle Beach on the 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then on,
Jonathan,
yeah,
please say again what you said about May 8th is what?
May 8th, Baba came for what he said he wanted to be in seclusion for 2 weeks. He arrived on the 21st
Which
And-
year?
of 1952.
Okay, his first
And,
visit.
and in a
Yeah.
letter to Elizabeth just before Mononash sent him a letter saying that the center, everything was ready. And he wrote back how pleased he was and that he would come I think it was referred to as the end of April, but in the spring, and that he needed to be in seclusion for the first 2 weeks in order to complete the work that he was just starting. And he referred to it by the dates rather than Mononash. He said, the work I'm doing from October 16th of 51 to February 16th. And so he was coming to Myrtle Beach. Interestingly, he completed Mononash in Marizad on January 31st. And then he comes to his home in the
By
West.
finishing, if I can clarify, get a clarification. So you say completing Mononash, was that when he had the Dooney lit
Exactly.
and was put that Erich put in what Baba had him write down, that by this something, I don't know if my exact quote, but by this I am annihilating all the rituals and ceremonies and rituals.
Of all the slip of papers referred to the rituals and ceremonies of all the religions. And then he said as he was doing that, he was putting those all into the Dooney fire. And then interesting, that was on the 31st.
On the 31st of January in 51.
52.
52. Okay. And then he came almost straight away to Myrtle Beach.
And time-wise, it parallels because when he dropped the body on the 31st, And on the 6th was when he was interred 7 days later. And
No, he was interred on the 7th, the
Uh,
7th of February
was
every
it
year.
7th?
Yeah.
Oh,
The women Mandalay would
I'm sorry, I
come.
didn't count it. I was counting 31st of the day. So good that you corrected me. Anyway, I was on the 6th that he issued the first life circular titled Mononosh, where he explained the import of Mononosh, of giving freedom for himself, attaining freedom for himself, and extending that freedom to all his lovers.
What's
And
the significance of the October 16th New Life start date and Mononosh start date?
well, that's interesting. They both started on October 16th, one in 49, the New Life, and then he announced in June of 51 that after preparation of 100 days seclusion and whatnot, that he was going to be doing this annihilation of the mind. He announced that at a gathering in Hyderabad. And then he set out from Hyderabad at Mononosh Cave for the walk from Hyderabad and then ending it at Marazad.
Jonathan, excuse me, didn't you give a talk on this at the Circle Center or something?
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
been trying to find the date that you did that.
It's let's see, is it April 9th or February? April 9th, I think. Anyway, if you look at the announcement for this on Baba Zoom, there's a link to that talk. So if you go to the Baba Zoom calendar,
Yeah.
where it has a description of this weekly event and it includes a link. So it was, let me see, let me pull it up quick and I'll tell you exactly. It's gotta be.
And this talk that you gave is what's,
It's a
like, what's it
description,
on?
it's a description of Mononosh, the life messages, and because the life messages, the thrust of the messages is giving freedom to his lovers to choose to remain with him, follow his orders, or to go elsewhere and follow his orders, or to go elsewhere and not follow his orders. He's empowering individuals to make their own choices. And it was followed in 54 by saying, the need for external links is not necessary. We have internal links with him and one another. And that led me to think, well, so how do people lead their life? You have to look to God within. And that introduced the theme of the intuition, and that brought back the Blue Bus to a time where Baba was utilizing the intuitive capacity of Norina to connect with impersonal God to produce this dialogue of articles between herself and Baba.
Uh-huh.
So that talk ties those themes together.
And we can go to Baba Zoom for this meeting today, and there'll be a link that
Yeah, it'll be a link. And if you go online, I just remember the title of it is called "The Avatar Announces the Age of Intuition." It's a YouTube video. The Avatar announces the age of intuition. So it starts with a discussion. It starts with a discussion of Avatar, the first discourse that was published in the first issue of the Meher Baba Journals, where he says about the transition from the age of sensation gave rise to the age of reason, and then now we were moving from the age of intuition to the age of reason to the age of intuition.
February 9th, right? Was it?
No, I think it's April. I just wanted to pick it up here quick. I think I can get it. Give me a sec here. Don't you know it? Let me go on
Imagine me trying to find it.
Yeah, right. There's a variety of ways that I can do it, but I'm going to go by Baba Zoom here. Let's see.
Sorry to hang you up.
No problem. This is a time, silence is the appropriate response to everything these days. It still hasn't done it. So we can, so the calendar. So if you go on the calendar,
While he's looking for that, Rosalie, maybe you can respond. Of course, the Blue Bus tours started on December 8th of 38, but and Jonathan mentioned that December 8th was something just a few minutes ago. He said that December 8th.
not December 8th, May 8th, today, May 8th today.
No, but earlier
Oh,
in your
yeah,
talk,
yeah.
you
Yeah,
mentioned that
you did say
December 8th.
something.
Yeah, that was the day that the Germans, they were on the outskirts of Moscow, and their supply chain, everything broke down, and that began the retreat from
Turn of the war.
and that's considered when Germany recognized that they were not going to win this war. They kept
And
going.
do you see a direct link between Baba's Blue Bus tours and that date, the end of?
Yeah, because in November, I mean, it would have been supremely something if it had ended on the 8th, but he brought the Blue Bus back, as I recall, on November 28th. And that the interesting thing about 41 also, Baba said that it was spiritually the most significant year of his advent. And that was in August 1st is when he broke his silence inwardly and said he was speaking the word inwardly. And that was also in October when he met with Upasni for the last time, and Upasni said that all the powers of the five perfect masters now resided in Baba. And then Upasni dropped the body in December,
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, December 24th. And then the year culminated with the Kumbh Mela, where Baba went, totally dedicated everything to Upasni Maharaj and bowed down to the thousands of sadhus and saints. But it also, Pearl Harbor was December 7th. So December 7th of 41, the United States, after being extremely isolationist, is forced center stage. And Germany declares war on the United States. And of course, America declares war on Germany and Japan.
So, and I heard you mention just now, Upasni Maharaj. What I'm remembering is that May 9th was the day that Khorshid was there at Sakori with her parents. And she had this is 22, so she just turned 12 years old on the 2nd of May of 22. And she was there and used to often share the story of being in the room when Upasni he called everybody in. By everybody, it was, all folks that were drawn to him at that time, and said, I have turned over the keys to the universe to Merwan, and he will make the whole world dance on his little finger.
Right.
And then he told everybody to go back to their homes and so forth. And that was, Baba stayed there for another few days with Upasni, but that was the end of Baba's external connection to Upasni until 41, when they met again in the hut in October of 41. But that was basically, the 9th of May is the beginning of Mayor Baba's advent. When Upasni said, go with him, he's
Yeah.
the whole world dance on his little finger. And, sent all of them to Merwan. And so anyway, yes, May 9th is very significant, but I think especially significant for the human part of Baba's advent as avatar this time round, like the very beginning day.
Very interesting. Yeah. So May 9th, yeah, and that's such a significant day, for coming out of that first 2 weeks of seclusion. May, a lot happened in May. Yeah.
A lot may happen.
Yeah.
And nothing happens at all
Yeah, right.
at the same time.
I wanted to share this that I love. Now, this is from Norina's diary. It's in Norina's gift, the book, but to me, it was very key. And just to be able to believe me, open your heart. Do not allow your heart to be obscured by giving to the head any imaginary motives to argue. Rest in me. Be selflessly detached when you are consciously experiencing unqualified confidence in my divinity. Be sure I have come to this world to achieve the new wonder of spiritual resurrection. I put into you the desire to use your intellect to serve me. That service will initiate in you and in the world a new rhythm of pure and selfless love. How I achieve this wonder of spiritual resurrection is no more a secret. I am here real and dynamically active in your higher self. I am the self immutable in all creatures. I think of that when it's like, oh, I don't understand this. And it's a new rhythm, and I just try to enjoy. Yeah. And it has brought me joy too.
Yes. Wonderful. Thank you both for offering us the opportunity to hear yet again these incredible messages from Baba through Norina.
That talk, I just realized it was on March 9th. So time passes, and
Yeah,
it was so,
I see
it
that.
was so beautiful the way that this particular, I'm just going to play that theme of Mononash that in the first article that we did. Let's see here.
That sentence.
Yeah, that first sentence.
Yeah.
It was in there
Yeah.
that.
No, the
I get
other
the
one
misremembering. I always do that.
in front of that.
In that
Yeah.
included, when I am in mind as man, as human creature, I do all to help in use the way out of use. That is to make you experience in small and huge order, in little and great controversy, the act of annihilation of the I. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai.
Hey,
Avatar Meher Baba
Baba
Ki
Ki
Jai.
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 Avatar Meher
Mayor
Baba.
Baba
Baba
Ki
Ki
Jai.
Hey.
Jai.